Hello my friends. Yesterday the Under-21 World Cup final took place, a final that generated several unprecedented achievements for the soccer community. For the first time, a country that is not part of Europe playing a Under-21 World Cup final in the past happened to non-European coaches playing the Under-21 World Cup and even winning. But a country was the first time in the history with Cuba, with a community of 106 users in the game. Also, since 2012, Italy, that was the first country in the history of the game to win a Under-21 World Cup, never reach a final again. Italian coaches continue to show his talents after that, with Pavoniana and Ford Kuga winning with Belgium and Michel 79 winning with Montenegro. But an Italian coach with the Azzurra just happened the last time in 2012 with former Under-21 world champion Barros, and that was broken with Italian coach Mega Adri reaching the final in this edition of number 21. Not only that, but Italy winning again the Under-21 World Cup against Cuba with a result of 2-0, winning his third Under-21 World Cup in Soccer Manager, and also with Mega Adri making history, became the first woman to win Under-21 World Cup in Soccer Manager. Maybe she is also the first woman to become a world champion in the game, but since I do not know about the history of Senior World Cup and the Champions Cup, I will do not make a statement about it for not being aware, anyways. In addition of so many feats being accomplished, the final was quite interesting to watch, and in case you didn't watch it and thought the game was simply a total Italian domination, well, you're both right and wrong. Right, because the final this edition was two Italian coaches playing. Cuba's coach is also an Italian user, in case is a Lionomo, but also you are wrong because Italy, even showing more numbers on stats, have a good amount of luck during the match. This do not mean that Italy did not deserve it winning the gold trophy, but just show it how balanced was the match and that both coaches did it a great job and a good show to us watch it. This video is an analysis of this match. Usually I create texts making an analysis of what happened in the final. If you want to see my two texts that I did it talking about the last two editions, the link is in the description. This one will be making in a video. So, time to talk about this final and let's go. First of all, we have to say that this final was already happening the day before yesterday, as the first strategy was made days before the final took place. And what changes this? Simply the change of stadium. If in edition 19 it was brought up the need for Romania to use 8 players in def order, and in edition 20 it showed that you can use the winger in different ways with Montenegro, edition 21 showed how modifying the pitch measures can influence a result in favor of the home team. Of course, is not like coaches think of this now, was always possible to change this part of the game. Switzerland with former world champion Vaccarel in the edition 20 make that in all possible matches as a home team, but probably never happen so much this feature like in this edition. This countries you see now, what do they have in common? All of them during the elimination phase, when they played as home team, used pitches with measures different from the default one. Each using a measure that would facilitate their style of play, with Romania being more hybrid in this part, changing measures every game to confuse opponents. But the important thing here is to talk about Cuba, which has always chosen the same stadium, the Cesc Barca Arena, with 64 pitch width and 95 pitch height, the smallest possible measures of the game. After deciding on the stadium, it was up to Italy to think of a way to avoid favoring the change of stadium by Cuba, and the strategy was the same used in the semi-final against Romania, which had also used a stadium with the smallest possible measures. The strategy chosen was a 4-3-3 attacking more vertically, with 3 closer strikers, to create numerical superiority at certain moments, but different from the game against Romania. Italy made changes. Delato against Romania had played behind 2 strikers and in midfielder order. This time he played in front in attacking order, and Pederossi, who had played in front in attacking order, this time playing behind and also in attacking order. Cuba, on the other hand, kept the strategy it used versus Spain, but reversing the side where the defensive and attacking players had played. We also need to remember that Cuba had to play without 3 of its best midfielders for this final. And by the way, Cuba plays in a 4-4-2 or 4-3-3. Why the question? You will understand later in this video. Let's break it down into parts. First, let's talk about what happened in the first half. Before the game starts, we see a Cuban tactical design similar to a diamond 4-4-2, but after a while, we can see that the shape already changes to a 4-3-3, and this happens a lot in Cuban tactic, and the reason for this is thanks to one single player who is practically the entire heart of the team. This, my friends, is the Ramu effect. Ricardo Ramu is the ace of this team, and he deserves the number 10 because he has a service that no other player in this competition knows how to do like him, which is to break the opponent's lines thanks to his weird positioning. Cuba may even seem like a team that focuses on playing vertically, but this is not entirely true. If I created a model game in Soccer Manager called Waderianism, where positioning in a disciplinary way is important, Alionomo wanted to create the opposite. We can say that this is Alionomism. If we ask Alionomo if Cuba plays vertically or using width, his answer will probably be yes. Maybe Alionomo didn't think directly about what I'm going to say, but the smaller measures is not only to favor a vertical attack from Cuba, but also to make Ramu useful all the time. If the field is smaller, he can move more easily and be useful in the whole field. If soccer had a heat map, we will see that Ramu moves almost all over the field. It's no wonder that in the statistics showing the most active players on the field, Ramu is second in total statistics and the most active offensively. And during the beginning of the game, look at how Ramu almost made Cuba score goals, with Ramu himself almost scoring the goal. At one moment he is on one side, and suddenly he is on the other side, not to mention that Ramu is a good player at stealing balls from defenders, creating a quick counter-attack. If Cuba had a player who practically changed the way the team acted thanks to his positioning, Italy played much more statically. Cuba had a lot of movement to open spaces and thus take advantage of it. Italy preferred to use the old brute force. That was not a wrong strategy, since because Cuba used the smaller measures, the defensive line be more compact and closer, create a difficulty to pass, but thanks to Mega Adri having positioned the strikers well, Italy played completely vertically trying to use the quality of their strikers close to the area, winning duels against the Cuban defenders, stealing balls or winning with dribbles, and it worked very well. Maybe it lost a little movement with 3 players in attacking order. But this strategy managed to break a Cuban wall. Goalkeeper Carrera, after defending a shot, got injured and had to be replaced by Zulueta, a goalkeeper who by the values to realize that it is much weaker compared to the main goalkeeper of the team. And many times Italy managed to get this ball to the strikers in a good condition to score a goal. And despite this, the goalkeeper Zulueta and the defenders were resisting the pressure well. In the minute 41, Zulueta make a mistake when he trying to catch the ball, and the first Italian goal happened. Probably if Carrera was still playing, this mistake could do not happen, but to be world champion, luck is necessary, and Cuba do not have this type of luck with an injured goalkeeper in the first half. Well, let's go to the second half. Second half was a little emotionless at the beginning. Italy had some chances, but until then everything was under the control of the Cuban defense. An injury again on the Cuban side, some substitutions on both sides. From the 70th minute things started to get more interesting. Is minute 75, oh, is a nice pass, it worked, Driggs beat the goalkeeper and, wow. This is very bad luck. To miss a goal without anyone to stop you. Is minute 76 and look that way of put 3 players in the attack, and since Ramu plays basically as a false 9 in this club, this do not remember a specific club in real life? Oh, Bello have a good chance, but now the goalkeeper stop it, and when you are unlucky, things happen that are like karma for you, and in the minute 82, that karma came with the second Italian goal, and almost happened the third after that. Cuba still had a good chance in the last minute of the game, but another great performance by the Italian goalkeeper and that was it. Did Cuba deserve victory instead of defeat? Well, yes and not, to be honest. It's not like Italy didn't play well. Italy knew how to make a good defensive line that created many offsides for Cuba, and using a high line versus Cuba is not easy to do precisely thanks to the movement Ramu makes it, changing the 4-3-3 shape to a 4-4-2. But Italy also had great success in getting the ball close to the box for the Italian forwards to attack, and they just didn't score more goals thanks to the Cuban defense. So it's not like the game was just for one side, it was a very balanced and fun to watch, 2 different styles. Maybe you preferred Cuba because it seems to be more fun to watch thanks to the movement of attacking players, and Ramu, who practically acts like a false 9, being a player who acts very similar to Roberto Firmino at Liverpool or Messi when Guardiola was the coach in Barcelona. The movement of the forwards acting like inverted wingers, similar to how it is used in real football, was very interesting. Cuba has many aspects similar to real football, and this shows how soccer, even being an outdated game, it is still possible to recreate certain things from reality. The opportunities that Cuba had were probably more dangerous and Cuba could have scored more goals in the end and become world champions. But first of all, this is a football game, and in football things like this can happen. Even losing a goal without keeper, it's frustrating, but it can happen. Italy attacked a lot, and that's why the Italian victory has to be recognized, because it wasn't something random. It's clear that Mega Adri had all the attention to position the lines as correctly as possible, and that's why she became world champion. But Cuba deserves all the applause, as it is a community that has been revolutionizing itself for years and looking for ways to make the community support its national teams with projects that were later copied by other countries. And most important of all, like happened in the Senior World Cup, 2 Italian coaches again in a World Cup final. How this will move the changes of coaches for the next season will be interesting, with the Italian coaches coming back to dominate completely the world of national teams. Will we see new tactical strategies never seen before after what happened in this Under-21 World Cup? Only time will tell, but congratulations to Mega Adri for becoming world champion. It may even be that tactically she didn't bring something totally new, but her talent in the area of correctly reading the actions of her opponents must be recognized, and thanks at the moment, Italy is world champion and is in the first place in the world ranking, especially in the Under-21 scenario, which is so competitive and difficult thanks to the level of the coaches. I hope you enjoyed this review and that the soccer community continues to seek evolution. Bye bye.